What's going on, folks? Codename loveone, Reflex. Welcome to another video. So I'm going to play you this video. Respect to, I have to say, props to Tony Sayers for putting this one out, or finding this, bringing this to my attention. I've just listened to the first 5 minutes and there's a lot of truth in there, so I'm going to play this for you. Unfortunately, Tony Sayers is a meat-eating fuckwit. However, the fact that he's onto this stuff, you know, just does show you the guy's got some truths there. I mean, I can't disagree with truth, mate. Yeah, so let's listen to how Jesus is a fictional character, never existed, and some interesting stuff about you know, passing over the soul trap, going towards the white light, which is the trap, and religion being a trap, and they're actually being, you know, almost like worse when you pass over. It's like martial law, mate, apparently. So I'm not saying I know this to be true or false, but I do know that it is pretty fucking likely that that is the case, that this doesn't end when you leave your body in hell realm, which is what this is. You just go to a different layer of hell realm. Obviously, if you are fully aligned and enlightened and you're able to control where you go, then, you know, you're battling demons all the way back, mate, all the way back to source, really, to try and they're trying to stop you from getting to source yourself and realizing who you are. And not everyone is here. You know, 90% more, 95% of the human suits are not source. They're just not. So this is why they're out there worshipping the demiurge and blah blah blah. Anyway, I'll play the video. This is what, an hour and 46 minutes long. I'm going to have to do something with this. I don't know how. Maybe I can download the full video, put it on my Odyssey or something like that, or do a commentary over it. I will just play it. Have a listen to this.
Production.com with the title, Grandpa Dreamed of Heavenly Rest. He got demonic hell and forced reincarnation, posted by, You Are in the Matrix. Comment, NDEs paint a different picture than astral travelers. Answer, I have already addressed this. The near-death experience is a 100% scam. The targeted human is shown beautiful images and incredible landscapes. Incredible love is felt by the targeted human who is being set up to create advertising, which will con the worldwide religious idiots into entering the white light trap. The human is told, they must go back. They cannot yet enter the kingdom of heaven. Guess what? They never get to enter because it is all a scam. The incredible love is energy from the human's own heart chakra that gets amplified and reflected back onto them by advanced archon technology. God is fake. The angels are actually satanic trash in disguise.
Alright, I want to just there's a couple of things there I need to tell you, which is bullshit. God is not fake, right? However, the God that everyone thinks is God is the false God. So source is not fake. I'm sorry, you're wrong. I know what you're trying to say, but the source God is the best word to describe it. When you say God, you know what that means, right? The source of all things. You know, the universe is mental. The source of every universe, the multiverse, all multiverses, the source of everything is not fake, okay? But anyway, I'll continue the rest of the video. Very interesting stuff, good stuff here.
Whole NDE is a cruel manipulation to control the weak-minded religious imbeciles who buy into it like they always do. These same people think it's great their children got mutilated or killed in wars that are actually staged by the satanic global elite. They feel it was God's will. What a joke. The God of this matrix is the satanic demiurge and it is evil. Comment, in your silence, ask yourself, why are you fighting against Jesus Christ? You will meet him soon. Promise. We will all be there. See you there. Answer, see you where? You are probably a very nice person. I get no pleasure in disagreement with you. Sadly, you have been lied to. The heaven you wait for does not exist. After physical death, all humans end up in the same brutally controlled afterlife that is controlled by demonic forces known as archons. The purpose of this thread is to wake up humanity and end this horrible, cruel enslavement that affects us all. Jesus Christ is a fictional character. You might as well pray to Spider-Man or the Incredible Hulk. All religion is mind control. The self-declared God in this simulated fake universe is the satanic demiurge. Years ago, at the beginning of my afterlife exploration, I began asking every person I met in the afterlife, where is Jesus Christ? Every person, and most of them told me they were fully dedicated Christians, told me sadly that Christ never existed. These good people were emotionally crushed at finding this out. I do not enjoy ruining your fantasies and illusions. I wish it was different. Unfortunately, it is the truth. Jesus Christ never existed. God saves no one. You must save yourself. The self-declared God of this fake simulated universe is the satanic demiurge. Once again, your world is fake. You are inside the equivalent of a super advanced video game that is currently controlled by evil entities. This universe is a simulation. The heaven you have been long taught about does not exist. All religions cause humans to accept limitation and subservience. Become your own savior. Expand your mind and transform this predatory universe into a place of real freedom. The Christ character represents kindness and compassion. Belief in this character and what it represents has some limited power for protection. If it works to help keep away negative entities, that is fantastic. Unfortunately, it has significant limits and cannot stop the brutal archon agenda and the psychotic satanic demiurge. I was once attacked by a group of astral vampires. These are basically human Satanists who decided to merge their human form with that of the reptilian vampire after physical death. There was a large group of them and I was standing to the side. It was quite shocking as they looked human but had grotesque vampire-like features. I was disgusted by them and yelled, "The power of Christ," over and over. They all laughed at me and then turned incredibly violent. I was beaten up and almost bitten by them. In that experience, the energy of the Christ character did not help in any way. It was very sad, and soon afterwards the deceased began telling me Christ never existed. The worst part is that religion and fake savior worship makes humans very vulnerable. I have seen deceased humans in the afterlife basically lose their minds when they realize that heaven they were taught and promised was all lies. For the very religious, it is painful beyond description. These poor people are separated from their family and friends. On top of that, they see the astral afterlife is under martial law type of control. Religion and savior worship set people up for a nightmare. Question: we'd love to hear of your recent astral ventures. Answer: they captured me in the astral afterlife last Friday night, but I escaped about 2 hours later and was able to return to our dimension. It was a horrifying experience and deeply depressed me to the point I needed to go and clear my head. I was at a friend's cabin in a very remote area meditating and thinking about things. It is great to see you all working on this yourself. You all are the future in this awakening. It is very likely the archons will completely capture me at some point. I was in the center of a modern city that I had once briefly visited about 4 years ago. It has cobblestone streets and strange large zodiac symbols intricately etched into the ground. I'm not sure if it was just artwork or these symbols had meaning, but it gave me a very bad vibe. People were riding on high-tech silver-colored bicycles that seemed completely motorized. On the side of this intersection was a small group of deceased people and we began talking. They were very friendly. After about 2 minutes, one of them said, "They know you are here. You have to leave right now." Turning around, I saw 2 men. Each walked to a different spot. One was about 20 feet to my right and one the same to my left. They wore strange black outfits with hats that looked Masonic to me. These men were completely expressionless and looked very focused, as if they were specialists or trained in these endeavors. Both had creepy handlebar mustaches. As they started walking towards me, I said, "I am just exploring and minding my business. I do not want trouble." Their arms had been firmly at their sides, but then at this point they both pointed some type of weird pistol that had a large glowing ball of some sort at the front. The pistol reminded me sort of like those mini fishing rods. The pistols had what looked like folded up nets that glowed white in color. Both of these were shot at me and wrapped a large net that was electrical charged. I fell to the ground and could not move. About 10 minutes later, a van pulled up and I was placed inside. This van had a row of seats facing sideways looking out the window. Robert Monroe described similar vehicles with seats like that in his books. I could talk but not move and said this is a complete misunderstanding over and over. They eventually stopped and put a black bag over my head. One of the men said, "All will submit," after he did this. We drove for about a half hour and then they stopped. They took off the bag on my head. I recognized we were in a city called Jean de Lac. They put me onto what is described as an office chair that was motorized. They brought me into a room and left. About 20 minutes later, a man comes in. He was one of those security, law enforcement types that are all over the place in the afterlife. He seemed as if he did fully know what was going on, and he repeatedly asked if I had my identification. He spit in my face and then left. I thought this was it and I was not getting out. I wondered about my physical body and assumed I was soon to be dead. This horrified me to the point that I was incredibly dizzy and felt like throwing up. The security guy comes back in and asks me again, "Where is your identification?" I do not answer and he begins hitting my arms and chest with some type of metal pipe. He walks over to a computer terminal, types something and then exits the room. About a minute later, the net thing holding me starts blinking on and off. It then returns to normal and is pulsing white in color. It begins to sputter again and goes completely blank. I can now move and quickly stand up and remove the net. The door is locked, but I am able to break it down with telekinesis. A room across the hall has large windows I break in a similar manner. I quickly levitated out and immediately forced myself back into the physical dimension. This is not the first time I have had close calls with them. A man almost got me a few years ago with what looked like a glowing huge butterfly net. These devices are technology that captures the astral body. People have been captured with this before. When it gets to the point where the archon hierarchy are able to disconnect the silver cord from the astral body, the person then dies, then I will no longer be able to make it back to the physical dimension. Luckily, the morons who were holding me did not get to that point. I do not plan on that happening, but if the unseen happens, then you all will have to continue with this and make it expand. Other astral explorers have perished this way and are seen as having naturally died in their sleep. Although this is not common, astral travel is always usually very safe. This all really happened and I have had similar escapes in the past, although never to this extreme. It is hard to understand for the layman, but is actually the truth. I have had many people on Reddit ask me to create websites and YouTube videos on my experiences, and I am not interested. Cameron Day has had many similar experiences to these and is much more advanced than I am. Other people around the world have had run-ins with the Archon henchmen as well. Wes Penray does very good research. Talk of the astral being cleaned up is new age disinfo to put people back to sleep. Humans are still being forced to reincarnate. The Archon hierarchy is actually becoming more aggressive and supremely confident. They feel that Earth humans are close to the point of no return and complete subjugation. Thinking about this was a major reason I needed a few days away in the woods to clear my mind. I got extremely depressed after this recent experience in which I was briefly captured and felt hopeless afterwards. Question: you write, money is exchanged for goods and services in the afterlife. We have spirit bodies and need no food, and can materialize what we need. So why need money for goods? Don't get it. Answer: the deceased like to remain as similar to the physical life as possible. Because of this, many go to restaurants and eat food, go to bars and drink beer, and stores to purchase items. Materializing goods or money is illegal in the afterlife, as if telekinesis and flying. Most deceased people have either forgotten or do not know about these abilities because of the strict and brutal control there. It is also worth noting that the deceased are forced to have jobs. The Archon hierarchy want them busy and not questioning the system. They absolutely do not want them materializing goods or performing telekinesis in public. If these abilities were seen by many large groups, it would cause deceased humans to disengage from the all-encompassing